Hey guys, welcome back. We're going to be talking today about, this is for Pre-Algebra students, lesson 47. We're going to be talking today about evaluation of exponents when we're talking about algebraic expressions. So grab your notes. Again, if you're in my class, you need to be taking notes in the notes section of your binder. All right, so let's take a peek. We're going to start with some of these examples. Remember, anything I write down, you better write it down, okay? All right, example number 1. This looks like this. We have m squared if, so we're going to evaluate m squared if m equals 9. If m equals 9. Let's just do a quick refresh on this. We're going to back up for just a second. I want you to write this down for your notes. Just a reminder, if we have 3 squared, quantity, meaning parentheses 3 squared, that equals -3 times -3, which equals positive 9, okay? If we have negative and then 3 squared, this guy's a little bit different. What this means is, hey, we want you to do this we want you to do this 3 squared and then slap a negative on it on the outside. So you're basically doing all this garbage and then slapping a negative on it. So we end up with -9. So these are two different things. You'll see if the negative is outside the parentheses, it's gonna remain, right? And if it's inside the parentheses, we need to include it when we're doing whatever the exponent says. This is really important when we're going to be dealing with exponents as far as algebraic expressions, because if this guy is ever negative, you absolutely need to remember to use parentheses here. So get in the habit of using parentheses when there is an exponent. So we're going to do quantity 9 squared. 9 squared we know is 9 times 9, which we know is 81. 81. Let's look at example number 2, guys. All right, for example number 2, we have 4 to the x power if x equals 3. And the way that I'm writing these down, guys, this is how you need to be writing down on your homework as well, okay? This is going to be 4 to the, and instead of x, we're going to plug in 3. We end up with 4 times 4, which is 16, times 4, which is 64. 64. Guys, if you don't have your cheat sheet with all of those exponents on it, make sure to put that together. And I think it was in the last video, maybe the video before, where you're supposed to put all that together on one sheet. It'll make your life so much easier, okay? All right, so then example number 3. We have n to the 64th power. N to the 64th power if n equals 3. All right, well, 3 to the 64th power, we know that we have to get something to the 3rd power, which will give us 64. We know 4 to the 3rd power gives us, or to the cube root of 4 to the 3rd power, this cancels out with this, so that equals 4. This guy equals 4. I had somebody asking in class, how else can you do this, like on a calculator, dividing or whatever? There is a calculator button for these, but you need to memorize your perfect squares and your perfect cubes. That's why I'm saying get that cheat sheet together. I'll probably put it together for your final, just so you have something that you can use on your final. All right, so example number 4. This guy is 3 to the n power if n equals 27. All right, so we're gonna have 3. We're gonna have the cube root. I think I said 3 to the n power. I didn't mean to say that. I meant to say the cube root of n. So now we have the cube root of 27, which we know we need something to the 3rd power, which gives us 27. That's gonna be 3. This guy cancels out with this guy, and we're left with 3. All right, guys, go ahead and do those practice problems on page 155. Make sure they're at the top of your homework or in your notes section, one or the other. That doesn't matter. I come around and check those. So for A, we have 2x if x is 4. If you haven't already, pause the video, do these, and then let's come back and see if you did them right. So this is going to be 2 to the 4th power, which equals 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, right? 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 2 is 4. Those together give us 16. So 2 to the 4th power equals 16. All right, for B, x to the 3rd power if x equals 5. Okay, well, we know it's going to be 5 to the 3rd power. That's the same as 5 times 5 times 5. We know 5 times 5, that's 25. Now we need to take that number and we need to multiply it by 5. Whenever you're dealing with 25, think about quarters. If you have 5 quarters, you have $1.25, right? $1.25. All right, for C, we have n to the 27th power if n equals 3. So the cube, or I said it again, n to the 27th power. I didn't mean to do that. Cube, I guess the n root of 27 is what I should have said. The cube root of 27. So we need something to the third power that gives us 27. It's going to be 3. 3 times 3 is 9, times 3 is 27. These cancel out. I'm left with 3 as my answer. All right, guys, one more. D. D is n root 81 if n equals 2. So we're going to set, okay, so the square root of, remember if 2 is there, if there's no number there, it's just 2, right? So we don't even have to write a number, but since we're going to, we know the square root of that is going to be 9. All right, guys, make sure you're learning those perfect squares, those perfect cubes, all that good stuff, and make sure that you've got those on your cheat sheet, okay? Thanks, guys. We'll see you in the next class.